Fist bumps all around para dito sa coaching staff ng Alaska Aces. But make no mistake about it, they might be having a jovial time at the sidelines, but they mean all business because the target is the top four. It is Romeo, Miranda, Famous, Semerad, and Kramer para sa GlobalPort. Baguio, Casio, Thos, De La Rosa, Travis naman para dito sa mga Alas. And the first quarter,
Alaska, #1 in defense, and they're giving up only 87.5. So you've got the league's top scoring team averaging over 100 points now up against the defensive team, which is Alaska. And can Alaska hold them down to less than 100? That's the big question mark.
and immediately, first 2 points on the board, binigay ni Denok Miranda, giving us a chance to go into the Dean's List.
Well, unang-una, pag-usapan natin ng Alaska, I think it's important that they gang rebound because alam natin, GlobalPort is, as I said, the league's #1 rebounding team. They've got Famous, they've got Kramer. Those guys have to be boxed out. Pangalawa, pressure in the backcourt. And that's where Alaska derives its energy. From the pressure that they give, from the press. And more importantly, they need to be able to pressure Terence Romeo to get the ball out of his hands. At pangatlo, yung kanilang transition attack. GlobalPort, because of a lot of bigs, they don't really run that much and that well. For Alaska, they need to be able to do that. They generate transition because of their defense. If they're able to create turnovers in the backcourt, then they'll be able to get easy layups without having to contend with a shot blocker like Famous.
There's Romeo creating a shot para dito kay Famous. Famous launches a jumper in a quick 6-0 start para naman dito sa GlobalPort.
After taking that shot, you see Famous looking at the crowd para sinabi niya, napakadali nun! He wasn't challenged, and Famous, you know, I remember when he played here, first for Meralco back in 2012, he played only 3 games. Meralco's record was 1-2 with Famous. They took him out. They brought in Earl Barron instead. But now he's developed a strong offensive game. He's brought a lot of swag in his game, and I'm happy for him.
Talking about the Dean's List naman para dito sa Batang Pierre.
Well, for GlobalPort, unang-una, it's got to be a high percentage offense. And that is generated by passing the ball around. They had 21 assists against Kia. That was a game that they won. And they need to be unselfish. They need to keep that ball moving and not take poor shots like Famous just did. Pangalawa, they need to check their turnovers because sabi nga natin kanina, si Famous had a triple-double because he had 11 turnovers that last game against Kia, which they won. But outside of those turnovers, they are #2 in the league in terms of most turnovers a game. They've got to be able to chop down that rate. Pangatlo, it's not just the Trinity that they can rely on. We know that Famous, Pringle at si Romeo, they average close to 70 points a game. That's a ton of points for GlobalPort. But the others, they've got to contribute. You've got a Kramer. You've got a Denok Miranda. Those guys, Priam, of course, they've got to put up numbers as well because they keep the defense honest.
Anthony Semerad misses a 3. It's a red line versus red line matchup with Ron De La Rosa on the other side. Ito naman ng Alaska Aces. Baguio cutting inside, hooks it up and in.
That's an improvised shot coming from Cyrus Baguio, but you know, I've always seen Baguio as more of a scorer than a shooter because he can create shots for himself, the ability to penetrate, and come up with those improbable, impossible shots.
No question about it, the creativity of Cyrus Baguio, one of the best in the league without question. Ito si Jared Famous, naiwan libre. Rebound controlled by De La Rosa.
Famous not posting up. They're running pick and roll, but outside of Famous, they're running pick and roll, and then they look for Famous to give him the extra pass. But he's got to be closer to the basket.
Travis against Kramer. Getting to work in the post. Boss over Famous and puts it away.
Well, that has been missing in Toss's game. He has not scored in double figures in any game this conference. In fact, 2 games ago, he was even scoreless.
And immediately ties the game up, 6-all dito sa ating unang yugto. Ito si Terence Romeo. Court na kay JB Casio. Casio keeping in step. And Romeo, tumatak sa linya, turns the ball over.
Yun ang sinasabi natin kanina about GlobalPort. They've got to play a high percentage offense. You can't play too much one-on-one. Romeo has to know kung kailan siya papasa at kung kailan siya titira. At kung titira siya, he needs a screen. He needs to be set up.
Kyle off for the board. Makukuha pa ni Travis. Fadeaway jumper, and Famous another rebound.
You know, Famous is 6'10". Travis is 6'4" and 1/2. But you look at the arms of Travis, he's got those long, spindly arms. Gives him great length for rebounding and for bothering shots.
Baguio!
Yeah, about his improvisation. But no transition basket para sa Alaska.
Susubukan dito ni Romeo Travis in the post. Gets bumped and fouled. I see why you are christened the Dean. Mr. Spindly. Describing, of course, the arms of the Romeo Travis.
Haba nito, no?
This free throw is brought to you by Smart. Live more.
And you know, the thing about Romeo Travis is he's a childhood friend of LeBron James. I think everybody knows that. And he played in the 2003 Division II High School National Championship team with LeBron for St. Vincent St. Mary's High School. And he was part of what they call the Fab Five in that prep varsity along with LeBron James.
Alaska with a 2-point lead thanks to their defense and free throws earlier by Romeo Travis. Ito si Famous, tatrabaho sa ilalim. Si Travis makakapulot ng rebound.
And good recovery because that was a great inside pass para kay Famous. But kaagad nag-recovery in Alaska with that interior defense.
Boss, will he get to work? He begins to Romeo Travis. Squares up into triple threat. Takes it all the way.
A great move by Travis, but you know, that's the versatility of a guy like Travis because he's a player who plays 2, 3, maybe even a little bit of 4, and he can put Famous off his space by giving him a nice fake.
They talk about the spacing as well, the Dean. Look at this, Romeo Travis had all the room in the world to operate. Look at him, fakes, jukes, drives, and scores. A 4-point advantage na para sa Alaska Aces. 6 na minuto na titira dito sa ating unang yugto. Travis, nagamit ng papasan. Bibigyan si Casio from 3 and puts it away.
Napaka-excited ng GlobalPort parang Pierre going to today's game dahil niya may chance sila to make history for their team dahil pag natalo nila ang Alaska, they will finish at number 4. Their best elimination round finish at isa pa sa pinaka-excited dyan ang kanilang team owner, Mikey Romero, who announced before the game na magkakaroon daw sila ng win incentive if they beat the Aces, and this is to further motivate the Batang Pierre. James and the Dean?
Well, how about that? Definitely something to pump up the team.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat, Apple David. And
Apple, ano kaya yung incentive na yun?
Oo, mamaya alamin natin yan.
Meron ka bang idea? X, sabi niya X. X marks the spot. Walang sabihan.
Definitely
okay.
to see.
Thanks, Apple.
Here's Travis now. Looking to create off the bounce. Kramer. Ayaw siya iwanan. Banchero extra pass for the fadeaway, Jay, but couldn't convert. Ito si Nonoy Baclao, who is a former player of the GlobalPort Batang Pierre.
Interesting that Alaska is allowing Travis to go one-on-one against Kramer, not giving him a screen. I think he needs a screen no matter what you say, no matter how good and how versatile you are. That's why you've got teammates. You need to be able to screen off. You're not a LeBron James trying to get you one-on-one. Ito, one-on-one ito. I-score kasi kalaban niya. Ito na kalaban. Nonoy Baclao.
Nonoy Baclao, so it's 6'10" against 6'5".
And Baclao didn't even play the last game. So I think Coach Alex Compton may be treating this as maybe like a practice game, giving a lot of exposure to players who may not have used much during the eliminations. This is actually a non-bearing game for Alaska.
Creative finish para dito kay Romeo Travis. The fake, the shot, and the conversion inside. 5-point lead para sa Alaska Aces.
And by the way, very early, si Coach Pido Carencio, after GlobalPort raced to a 13-0 surge, I saw Pido nagkakamot ng ulo, took out Denok Piranda, brought in Stanley Pringle very early in this game.
He goes with his most explosive backcourt combination.
Yeah.
Ito na naman si Romeo Travis in the perimeter. Banchero against Pringle.
Now they try to run pick and roll.
Travis again with a football carry, the layup, and he will troop to the line.
I think GlobalPort is a step slow in defense. If you run pick and roll against GlobalPort, they're going to be hard-pressed to either cover the roller or to stop the guy who might want to pop off that pick.
Travis last weekend had 32 points, 10 boards, 2 steals. So sa kanilang panalo kontra sa San Miguel Beer.
What you like about Romeo Travis is that he has always attempted or tried to improve his game year after year.
Let's hear from Apple David.
Finishing first place means nothing, sabi ni Coach Alex. You can win if you're number 2, and you can lose even if you're number 1. Importante daw where you finish after the playoffs. He gave them same emphasis sa game na to tulad ng iba nilang laro. And what is sure is that they will be competing in every possession. Kung sa tingin daw ng iba, ipapahinga na yung players in preparation for the playoffs. Well, when it comes to who to sub and who not, game time decision na lang daw yun, guys.
Maraming salamat, Apple David. Chris Panchero, dire-diretso. And extending the lead to 9. And interesting tidbit, dadagdag ko lang doon sa report ni Apple David. I was talking to some of the Alaska guys earlier, so I was confirming. So win or lose, wala nang bearing, number 1 na naman kayo. They vehemently protested. Sabi na, no, James, win-win. Hindi namin iniisip yung win-lose, and they were all united in saying that. So that just speaks of the spirit of this never-quit squad as you take a look at Chris Panchero. Up and away. This fast break brought to you by Smart. Live more.
James, yan ang character ng Alaska. No? That character actually is exemplified by yung kanilang CEO, si Fred Ultengsu, who has a winning tradition. And this guy won medals for the Philippines as a swimmer in the Southeast Asian Games.
One of the most competitive people I know. As Pele Mamarel banks that one in.
But at the same time, you have to wonder, since it's, after all, a no-bearing game, you see the guys Coach Alex Contom has on the floor. A lot of subs, huh? Si Eric Menk, si Nonoy Baclao, whom I mentioned, didn't even play the last game. In fact, he's only played 2 games out of the last 7 ng Alaska. But he's getting exposure. I think what Coach Alex is doing here is giving players seldom used exposure. At the same time, he's not letting go of the fact that he wants to win this game. He wants to nail win number 9.
Oh, Famous, strong move inside. Famous has 8 points para pangunahan ang Batang Pierre. Under 3 remaining in the first period. 21-14 ang ating talaan.
And what about this situation here on the floor? No import for Alaska.
Oh, De La Cruz offensive board. Fresh 24 para sa mga Alas. Panchero on the outside, and Buenafe puts an end to that one.
Oh, with a 7-point lead, I guess Coach Alex Contom has the luxury of sitting down Romeo Travis for the time being, playing all Filipino. Open look, open shot. Not there.
Frenetic pace being played here. Both teams are going up and down. But Alaska in control. 21 points already on the board. Ito naman si Pringo from the corner. Misses that one. Famous tries to put it up. No go.
And that's the offensive rebound that he's famous for. But hindi nga naipasok. And Terrence Romeo, 0 points so far.
Excellent block out by Eric Meng. Hindi tuloy nakatulong si Billy Mamarel, and De La Cruz will score.
This is now a 9-point lead by Alaska. And GlobalPort, its defense is opening up. And I'm wondering, do they know what's at stake? It's either a twice-to-beat advantage or a twice-to-win disadvantage para sa GlobalPort. They win this, they're number 4. And if they lose, if Star beats Blackwater later, Star will be number 4. If Star loses to Blackwater later, it'll be Barako at number 4. A lot of new players here for Coach Pido Harencio. Hinahanap niya yung combination that will give them good chemistry because this is a very poor start for GlobalPort. Yung depensa ng Alaska holding GlobalPort to just 14 points in this quarter. There's an illegal pick by Noy.
Well, I think Ron J. Buenafe.
Oh, Ron J. I thought he was... What's going on?
So Buenafe is actually bamboozled as well.
Okay, akala ng mga player bola na
akala nila kay Nonoy Baclao din. Kaya nag-thumbs up si Nonoy Baclao. Sabi niya, hindi ako. I'm not guilty. Here's Manchero using the Menk screen. Manchero tries to spin. Menk with the up and under. They get fancy with that one, but couldn't finish. Ball will stay with the Alaska Aces. a possible last shot time para sa Alaska. Ball in the hands of Chris Panchero against Stanley Pringle. A lot of debate between these two guards before they were drafted. Panchero uses the make screen again, goes hard to the basket, gets denied. Magkakato para sa GlobalPort. Stanley Pringle up and away.
Well, just in time. Big basket there by Pringle. Oh! De La Cruz throwing it up. That went inside.
And a referee say it's all good.
You watch it right here.
I know it's just a Tuesday the Dean, but Tony De La Cruz throwing it back and putting it away. A three-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home PSL Triple Play Plans. And the Alaska Aces up by 10, 26-16 to end the first.